Hiroo Onoda is one of the most famous cases of holdout soldiers from World War II, Japanese soldiers who refused to believe the war had ended and continued hiding and fighting long after Japan's official surrender in 1945. Onoda's story is particularly remarkable because he remained in the Philippine jungle for almost 30 years after the war, convinced that the conflict was still ongoing. Born in 1922 in Japan, Hiroo Onoda was drafted into the Imperial Army in 1942 at the age of 20. Trained as an officer in military intelligence, he was sent to Lubang Island, about 150 kilometers southwest of Manila, Philippines. His mission was to organize guerrilla units and carry out sabotage against the Allied forces advancing toward Japanese territories. Before his departure, his commander gave him strict orders not to surrender. No matter what happened, he had to continue his mission, even if he was the only one left. In February 1945, American forces liberated Lubang Island, but Onoda and several other Japanese soldiers managed to hide in the jungle. After the war ended, most of the hiding soldiers were killed or surrendered, but Onoda and 3 comrades continued to believe the war was still ongoing. They refused to respond to any attempts at communication, including leaflets dropped from planes over the jungle announcing the end of the war. In the following years, Onoda and his small group waged guerrilla warfare, stealing food from local villagers, attacking patrols, and evading the Philippine forces that hunted them. They believed it was all part of an Allied strategy to deceive and capture them. Gradually, Onoda's comrades were killed one by one in skirmishes with local authorities, leaving him alone by 1972. Throughout these years, Japanese authorities made repeated attempts to convince Onoda to surrender. Messages from his family and various attempts to make contact were organized, but Onoda remained convinced that the war was not over. His paranoia and deeply ingrained loyalty to the empire kept him on high alert, unwilling to trust any outside messages. Onoda's fate changed in 1974 when a young Japanese student set out on a journey with the mission to find Lieutenant Onoda. Surprisingly, he managed to locate Onoda in the Lubang jungle. The soldier still refused to believe the war had ended unless he received a direct order from his former commander. Following this unexpected contact, Japanese authorities tracked down Onoda's former commander, who had long since retired and was running a bookstore. He was sent to the island, and on March 9, 1974, he personally delivered the order to Onoda. Upon his return to Japan, Onoda was hailed as a hero, and his story garnered global attention, making him a symbol of ultimate dedication and determination. Onoda also published an autobiography titled No Surrender, My 30-Year War, in which he recounted his experiences and the reasons behind his prolonged resistance. After returning to Japan, Onoda decided to move to Brazil, where he lived until the end of his life. Over the years, he even returned to Lubang to apologize to the local residents for the harm caused during his time in the jungle. Hiroo Onoda passed away in 2014 at the age of 91, leaving behind one of the most extraordinary stories of World War II and a message about the strength of human willpower.